He stepped closer. And closer. Then, slowly, he reached for the lock on the front door, and turned it. Click. Then he whispered, "Good. Because I haven't stopped thinking about you since the night you touched my hand." And then he kissed me. No hesitation. No confusion. Just fire. His hands cupped my jaw, mine tangled in his shirt. The months of tension, the quiet stares, the almost kisses, it all exploded into that one moment. He pulled back, breathing heavy, forehead against mine. "I'm scared," he said. "So am I whispered. "But I don't want to keep pretending." "Then don't." We didn't sleep together that night. But we didn't sleep apart either. We lay in the same bed, under the same blanket, his arm wrapped around me like it belonged there all along. And when he whispered, "Thank you for not giving up on me," I whispered back, "You were worth waiting for." But just when I thought everything was finally falling into place, I found something in his drawer the next morning that shattered me. A photograph. Of Nate. Kissing Eli. And the date? Just 2 nights ago. I wasn't snooping. I was looking for my hoodie in Nate's dresser, one he always stole and claimed looked better on him anyway. But when I opened the second drawer, a photo slipped out and floated to the floor like a slow-motion bullet. I picked it up. And everything in me went still. It was Nate. With Eli. Smiling. Close. Kissing. It wasn't an old photo. It was taken just 2 nights ago. The date was right there, digitally stamped in the corner like some cruel joke. 2 nights ago. The night he said he only needed closure. The night I sat up waiting for him. The night he told me he's engaged now. It meant nothing. I didn't scream. Didn't cry. I just placed the photo back in the drawer, quietly. Like I hadn't just watched something inside me snap. When he walked into the apartment a few minutes later, holding takeout and smiling like we were something now, something real, I couldn't even look at him. "Hey," he said. "I got us those dumplings you like. Did you kiss him?" I asked. My voice was too calm. Too still. Nate froze, bag of food still in his hands. "What?" "Eli. 2 nights ago. Did you kiss him?" He looked down, like a kid caught lying about breaking something. "Then, it wasn't like that. Answer the question." His voice cracked. "Yes." I nodded. Like I'd just heard a patient admit something hard. Like I wasn't dying inside. "You told me it was just closure." "It was," he said quickly. "It meant nothing. You kissed him, Nate. 2 nights ago. And then you got into bed with me. I didn't sleep with him. I didn't ask if you slept with him." Silence. I stepped back. "Why would you lie?" "I didn't know how to tell you." I panicked. "Did you love him?" "I thought I did. But I think I was just scared to let someone new in. Someone like you." My throat burned. My chest felt like it was caving in. "So I'm a rebound." "No. God, no." "Then what am I?" He walked closer, desperate now. "You're the one I wanted to come home to. The one I chose. You chose to lie." He tried to reach for my hand, but I pulled back. "I need time," I said. "I need space." He nodded, eyes glassy. "I'll give you that. But please don't shut me out completely." I didn't reply. I walked past him. Into my room. And locked the door behind me. For 2 days, we barely spoke. He'd knock softly. Leave tea at the door. Sit outside my room like a quiet apology. But I needed time. Time to feel the betrayal. Time to process the pain. Time to decide if one kiss with someone else erased everything he and I had built. On the 3rd night, I found him in the living room. Lights off. A candle burning. Same as before. He looked up when I walked in. "I thought you were asleep." "I couldn't," I said. He waited. Didn't speak. So I sat down across from him. And I asked, "Why me?" He blinked. "What do you mean?" "You could have kept dating women. You could have stayed in the closet. You didn't need this." His voice was quiet but steady. "I didn't need it. I wanted it. I wanted you. Even when I was scared. Even when I didn't understand myself." Tears stung my eyes. He leaned forward. "You make me feel safe. Seen. Like I'm not broken." "You're not broken, Nate. You just made a really shitty choice." "I know. And I don't trust you right now." "I know that too. But I still want this," I whispered. "If you're willing to rebuild." He exhaled like he'd been holding that breath for years. "I'll spend as long as it takes." We sat there for a long time. 2 broken boys in a half-lit room, trying to find something whole again. Just when I thought we were healing, he got a job offer. In another state. "It's everything I've worked for," he said. but it means leaving you behind. The next morning, he didn't wait. He just blurted it out while I was brushing my teeth. Got the offer, he said, leaning against the doorway, eyes unreadable. Chicago. Dream job. Senior design position. I froze, toothbrush still in my mouth. He looked nervous. Not excited. Not proud. I rinsed, wiped my face, and turned to him. That's amazing, I said, managing a small smile. Yeah, he said quietly. It is. Silence. Then he added, but it starts in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 14 days to either figure out everything, or let it all fall apart again. We didn't talk much the rest of the day. I think we were both pretending the clock wasn't ticking. That night, he made dinner. He didn't ask me to sit with him. He just placed a plate in front of me and sat across the table, like we used to before everything got complicated. Remember when we used to fight over who used the last coffee pod? He said. I smiled. You always used it. Then blamed me. He chuckled. Yeah. I was an ass. You still are. But we laughed. For the first time in days, we laughed. After dinner, we cleaned up in silence. Then he asked, can I sleep in your room tonight? Just sleep. I promise. I nodded. That night, he curled up behind me, his arm draped over my waist like it belonged there. And before I could stop myself, I asked, would you stay, if I asked you to? He was quiet for a long time. Then he whispered, if you ask me to stay, I'll stay. But I'll always wonder what could have been. My heart cracked. But if you go, I said softly, I'll always wonder what we could have been. The next morning, I woke up to an empty bed. And a note. Jordan. This is the hardest thing I've ever done. But I need to grow. I need to chase something for myself. And maybe, so do you. This isn't goodbye. It's just, not yet. Nate. It's been 6 months. He texts me sometimes. I reply sometimes. But we haven't seen each other since. I still wake up expecting to hear his terrible singing in the shower. I still avoid the couch where we first almost kissed. I still think about what we were. What we could have been. What we almost were. But I don't regret it. Because for a while, I had something real. Messy. Confusing. But real. And sometimes, that's enough. Have you ever had to choose between love and your future? Did you make the right choice? Let me know in the comments. I'm still trying to figure mine out. It was 3:02 a.m. when I jolted awake. The silence in our apartment was thick, too thick. Then I heard it. Click. The sound of our bedroom door locking. I wasn't dreaming. I blinked through the dim light coming from the hallway, my heart beginning to race. And there he was, Nate, my roommate, standing at the door, shirtless, breathing like he'd just run 5 miles. His chest was rising and falling, and he looked nervous. Nate? I asked, barely above a whisper. What's going on? He didn't answer right away. Instead, he took a few slow steps toward my bed. Then he stopped at the foot of it and looked down at me. I could barely breathe. His voice, low and trembling, broke the silence. If I tell you what I've been thinking every night, would you hate me? And in that moment, everything shifted. That night didn't start with love. But it would rewrite every line of what I thought I knew about him, and about myself. 5 months earlier? My name's Jordan, 24, med school grind, barely sleeping, always broke, but somehow surviving. I had 0 social life and even less experience with love. That's just not something you fit into a life full of anatomy exams and 16-hour rotations. I wasn't planning on getting a roommate either, until I met Nate. He was the complete opposite of me. Loud, funny, athletic, 25, and way too charming for someone that attractive. He moved in with 2 duffel bags and a box labeled emotional baggage, do not unpack. We barely knew each other, but somehow it worked. He cooked, I cleaned. I studied, he blasted music. We coexisted, like 2 completely different playlists playing in sync. But I never expected the weird tension that started building, slowly. It was small at first. The way he'd stand a little too close when we were brushing our teeth. How his hand would graze mine when we passed the TV remote. And that one night, we were watching a movie, his arm brushed mine, and he didn't move it away. Neither did I. I told myself it was nothing. I told myself, he's straight. Stop imagining things. But Nate, he wasn't acting straight. He wasn't acting anything. He was watching me. One night, I came home late from the hospital. I was exhausted, covered in cheap coffee, and half dead. I threw my keys on the counter, and there he was, shirtless, again, cooking eggs like it was completely normal to be doing that at 1 a.m. Rough shift, he asked, glancing over his shoulder. I nodded, trying not to stare at his back muscles. He placed a plate in front of me and said, "Eat. You look like a corpse." "You're annoyingly kind," I mumbled, but I smiled. Then it happened again. As I reached for the fork, his fingers brushed mine, again, and this time, his hand lingered. Just for a second. But enough for my entire body to tense up. The signs were everywhere. And still, I didn't know what to believe. Was I just lonely? Was I projecting? Or was Nate hiding something too? That brings us back to now. That night? The locked door. The whisper. The silence between us so thick it could have cracked. If I tell you what I've been thinking every night, would you hate me? I wanted to ask what he meant. I wanted to demand the truth. But I couldn't move. Not because I was scared of him. Because I was scared of what I wanted him to say. I didn't know it then, but the moment I let him sit beside me on that bed, nothing in my life would ever be the same again. Flashback, 3 weeks earlier. The tension didn't start with the whisper. It started way before, with a towel. I had just stepped out of the shower, hair dripping, wrapped in nothing but a towel around my waist. The steam still clung to the mirror as I wiped it with my palm, and behind me, the bathroom door creaked open. "Nate, what the hell?" I snapped. He just laughed. "Relax, I thought you were done. Need my toothbrush." My face flushed. "Seriously, man? Chill, it's not like I haven't seen you shirtless before." He grabbed his toothbrush, but didn't leave. Instead, he leaned against the doorframe, eyes casually running over me. I pretended not to notice. But something in his stare made my breath catch. It wasn't casual. It wasn't platonic. It was something else. He looked like he wanted to say something. But he didn't. Just smirked and walked out. After that day, I started noticing it more. The way he watched me cook in the mornings. How he'd walk out of his room shirtless and linger at the fridge, even when he didn't need anything. The late-night, accidental touches. The way he started sitting closer. Too close. I wanted to ignore it. But I couldn't. One night, we were watching a horror movie, Hereditary. The scene was dead quiet. On screen and in our apartment. And then a loud bang from the film made me jump. Reflexively, I reached for something, and that something was his arm. I pulled away quickly. "Sorry." But he didn't move his arm. Instead, he tilted his head and whispered, "You're cute when you're scared." I laughed nervously, not sure how to respond. "That's weird." "Is it?" He looked at me too long, too deep. Like he was waiting for something. Then the movie resumed. But I couldn't focus anymore. I was thinking about what he meant. If it meant anything. If I was reading into it all wrong. The next day, I tried to act normal. We passed each other in the kitchen like usual. But he stopped and looked at me differently, like he had more to say. "You going out tonight?" he asked. "Probably not. I've got lectures to revise." "Cool. You wanna, maybe just chill later?" "No movie. Just us." "I dunno. Talk." That felt different. Not something a regular roommate would say. Yeah. Sure. Cool." He nodded too fast. "Cool." That night, I was pacing in my room like an idiot. What did he want to talk about? Was this going to be a confession? Should I tell him how I feel? Would that ruin everything? By the time I walked into the living room, he was already there. Sitting on the couch, dim lights on, a bottle of wine between us. "I thought we were talking." I teased. "We are," he said, pouring us each a glass. "I just thought we could loosen up first." I sat down, feeling the space between us close in. "So," I said awkwardly, "what's this about?" He shrugged. "I've just been thinking. About stuff." "Stuff? You ever feel like, you're not who people think you are," he said quietly. "Like you've been playing a part for so long, you don't even know who the real you is anymore?" I froze. "Yeah," I replied. "All the time." We sat in silence for a while, sipping wine, not looking at each other. Then he added, "I don't think I'm as straight as I used to think I was." I didn't breathe for 3 full seconds. "Okay," I said, voice steady even though my hands weren't. "And I don't think I'd mind, figuring that out, with someone I trust." My throat tightened. "You trust me?" I asked. He turned to me and nodded. "I do." That moment felt like a fuse being lit inside me. Quiet. Dangerous. Inevitable. Then he leaned back and said something I'll never forget. "If you kissed me right now? I don't think I'd stop you." My pulse went wild. I didn't kiss him. I didn't move. I just sat there, frozen. Because I knew. If I kissed him tonight, I'd never be able to undo it. Asterisk that night, we didn't touch. Didn't kiss. But when I got up to leave the room, I swear I heard him whisper behind me, so soft I almost missed it. I wish you had. Asterisk. I didn't sleep much after that. Every time I closed my eyes, I replayed the moment, Nate's voice, soft and shaky, if you kissed me right now, I don't think I'd stop you. And then the words I wasn't even sure I actually heard, I wish you had. Was he drunk? Was he serious? Or was this just some messed up mind game? The next morning, I avoided him. I left early. No note. No message. Just silence. I needed space to think, to breathe. But the thing is, when someone lives with you, there's no real space. By the time I got back, he was there, in the kitchen, shirtless again, because of course. Cooking eggs like nothing happened. Hey, he said casually, like we hadn't tiptoed across a line the night before. I didn't know what to say, so I nodded and mumbled, hey. We ate in silence. The unspoken words hung heavier than steam from the eggs. The next few days were strange. Not bad. Not cold. Just charged. The way his eyes lingered longer when I passed him. How he started brushing my shoulder on purpose. And once, just once, his fingers lightly touched my lower back when he passed me in the hallway. I turned around. He didn't even look back. Then came the storm. Literally. Our city got hit with the heaviest blackout in years. Power out. No Wi-Fi. No heat. Just candles, blankets, and silence. He came into my room holding 2 mugs of tea and a tiny flashlight under his chin like a dumb horror movie villain. I laughed. You look like a haunted chipmunk. Just trying to lighten the mood, he said, handing me a mug. He sat beside me on the bed, close, but not touching. The only light came from the candle between us, flickering shadows on his face. You remember that night? He asked quietly. I didn't pretend not to know which night. I do. He looked away, then back. I wasn't drunk, he said. I know you think I was, but I wasn't. I meant it. The mug trembled slightly in my hands. I set it down before I could spill it. I don't know what this is, I admitted. I don't even know what you want. His voice dropped even lower. I want to not feel like this is wrong. Do you think it is? He didn't answer right away. Then, softly, no. But I've been told it is. All my life. That broke something in me. Because I knew that feeling too well, loving someone in silence, in secret, behind safe words and fake smiles. He looked like he was fighting tears, so I leaned in, not close enough to kiss him, just enough to let him feel I was there. You don't have to figure everything out tonight, I whispered. He blinked fast, then laughed shakily. You're too nice. No, I'm just used to pretending I don't feel things. Silence stretched again. Then he asked, so, have you ever been with a guy before? I nodded slowly. A long time ago. High school. First love. Ended badly. He smiled, barely. Guess we both have baggage. Yeah. But yours came with a warning label. We both laughed, and for the first time in days, it felt real. Like the tension cracked just enough to let light through. Later that night, we were still in my room, wrapped in extra blankets. The candle was almost out. We talked for hours, about stupid stuff, cartoons, worst breakups, how he broke his arm falling off a trampoline at 12. And somewhere between the laughter and long glances, it shifted. He looked at me. Not like a friend. Not like a roommate. Like someone who was scared of what came next, but wanted it anyway. I leaned forward just a little, testing the space. He didn't move. Didn't blink. Didn't breathe. Then I whispered, if I kissed you now, would you stop me? He whispered back. Try me. But I didn't kiss him. I stopped. I pulled away. Not because I didn't want to, but because I wanted it to mean something. I can't do it, I said, not if you're still unsure. He closed his eyes and nodded. I get it. We sat in silence again. And for the first time ever, it was a good silence. A comfortable one. Like we finally admitted something to each other, even if we didn't act on it yet. But just when I thought we were finally on the same page. He got a call. One that would change everything. It's my ex. He's in town. And he wants to meet. The name Eli shouldn't have hit me that hard. But when Nate said it, softly, eyes avoiding mine, I felt something sharp twist in my chest. My ex, he repeated, like I hadn't heard. Eli. He just texted. He's in town, and he wants to meet. I didn't say anything at first. Because I didn't know how to say anything. So I just nodded, keeping my voice steady. You gonna go? I don't know, Nate replied. I haven't seen him in 2 years. He was the first person I ever, opened up to. And suddenly, I wasn't sitting in my room anymore. I was sitting in someone else's history. Someone else's memories. Someone else's heart. That night, Nate left. He said he just needed to talk to Eli. For closure. Nothing more. I told him I understood. But the second the door shut, I stared at it like he had just walked out with pieces of me he didn't even know he had. He didn't come home that night. And I didn't sleep. I lay in bed, overthinking everything. Was I stupid to believe this meant something? Did he just need a distraction? Was I the distraction? I hated myself for hoping. He walked in the next morning around 7 a.m. Hair messy. Shirt wrinkled. Eyes tired. I was at the kitchen table, pretending to read. He paused when he saw me. Didn't mean to worry you, he said. You didn't, I lied. He poured himself coffee and sat down across from me. He's engaged, Nate said after a long silence. To a woman. I looked up. Oh. He nodded slowly. Told me he was just experimenting when we dated. Said he wasn't really into guys. I didn't know what hurt more, his story, or the quiet sadness on his face. So why meet him? I guess I needed to hear it from him. That it was real. That I wasn't crazy. You weren't, I said. You're not. That night, everything boiled over. We were both in the living room, tension thick. Words unsaid. A movie was playing, but neither of us was watching. Then, suddenly, Nate stood and walked toward the window. You ever feel like people only come close enough to hurt you? He asked. All the time, I replied softly. He turned around, eyes glassy. You've been different. You don't push. You don't expect. You just, let me be. I swallowed hard. I'm trying. He walked over, closer than usual. And this time, I didn't back away. Do you want me? He asked. Or am I just another broken thing you want to fix? I looked him straight in the eyes. I don't want to fix you. I just want you.